Welcome to the Break the Barrier podcast. I'm Umbly Jose, the host of this podcast show, and our goal is to showcase successful and driven people in our South Asian community who break barriers and show us you can absolutely find happiness in roles outside of what was traditionally considered successful. I'm so excited to be speaking today with Milan Mathew, a force in the beauty and content world who's redefining what it means to shine in your own skin. From bold makeup looks that celebrate melanin-rich tones to scroll-stopping TikTok and Instagram reels that mix humor with heart, Milan brings color, confidence, and charisma to everything she does. So much so that she just released her feature with Vogue India, an incredible win for our South Asian Malayali community. Milan's content is all about self-expression and showing up authentically. Whenever I've needed a good laugh, I've personally loved watching her videos where she gets ready in Manglish, which is a language combination of Malayalam and English, which brings me back to my childhood days speaking Malayalam at home. But behind the camera, Milan's journey is one of self-discovery, including solo traveling to Thailand to learn Muy Thai, creative risk-taking, and learning how to embrace her voice in an industry that wasn't always built for people who look like her. In today's episode, we're going beyond the filters and followers to talk about her roots, what keeps her grounded, and how she's built a platform that's as bold and as genuine as she is. So let's dive right in. Welcome, Milan.
Hi. Thank
Of course, I'm so excited to have you on. I know we talked about it a little off mic, but I feel like I've been following you since the start of the pandemic when your videos had gone viral on TikTok and there were articles that were written about you and how you were bringing, especially South Indians, Malayali culture, all of that was being brought to the map, and I was so inspired by you. So this truly feels like a full circle moment for me to even get this opportunity to get to interview you. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored. It's just so crazy to think like that was 5 years ago.
I know, right? Like it's so crazy that we've moved past the pandemic, and even with like work stuff, I feel like more and more people are going into the office for work where before so much was remote. It just feels like
Mhm.
it was just yesterday that we
I know.
were, isolating.
I know. Also, what a lovely introduction. Like, thank you for all.
Of course. So tell us about you. How have you been like since the pandemic? What's been going on?
Yeah, well, I live in Houston. Not much here, very quiet life, and I have been doing full-time content creation for, like I said, 5 years. So I definitely love the field I'm in. Every day is about, working those creative muscles, putting things out there, continuing to break the barrier. So,
I love it. And so that's how I kind of start off my podcast. You introed it for me perfectly. What does it mean to you to break the barrier?
yeah, so that's that's a lovely question. To me, I think it means being loud in a space that didn't allow that for us, being unapologetically myself and taking up space in a community that didn't really have representation for people who look like us. And nowadays, I feel like that industry is changing a lot. I'm going to speak on like the beauty space.
Sure.
Definitely changed a lot. I love seeing brown people being beauty creators or fashion creators where they'd be scared to do it a couple years ago. And the fact that they're pursuing it and being themselves and taking up space, like I love to see it.
I love that. So can you walk us back to the pandemic when you had started on TikTok and started on Instagram Reels and these videos are blowing up? What was your thought process while you were creating these videos? And how did you feel when your first video went mega viral? If you could kind of just
Yeah.
walk us through that.
Yeah. So I started TikTok in the pandemic, and actually I was just recording a video about like facts about me you guys probably didn't know, and I was literally going over these steps. My within my first 2 years, I'm sorry, 2 months of creating a TikTok is when one of them went really viral. Like I don't even know how much it's at, maybe like 15 million now. And at the time, I literally had like zero followers. I started from zero on TikTok and it grew from zero to maybe like 400 something thousand that first year. And all, started from the one video where it's became the cultural hot seat challenge. So you sit down, transition. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
where you remember me
Oh,
from.
yes. Oh my gosh, that video was so cool. I loved it. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh,
Continue.
no, I love that video. And okay, so the story behind that video, I had seen like, the transitions were a thing, and I never saw anyone do cultural things on TikTok. Like now
Mhm.
it's like, it's like a category of its own. But
Mhm.
back then I really feel like that wasn't a category, but whatever, I just wanted something, oh, like to show both sides of myself. And to me, that lehenga I was in, it's like a baby pink lehenga. Um, it just means so much to me because when I had bought it a few years ago from when I went to India with my mom, I had to like beg my mom for it. And it wasn't even an expensive one. Like expensive lehengas at the time, I'm trying to think like rupees back then. Like let's say 20,000 rupees. That's like
Yeah.
a good one. This one was simply like barely 3,000. So
Okay.
I remember begging my mom for this barely 3,000 rupee lehenga. I don't even know how many dollars that is. What, like less than $100. And the fact that that's taken me to a career where I'm able to like take care of my family, like get a house and like build a future for myself, all from really this like it's just so crazy to me. Anyway, so that video started going like viral. I think it got started getting like a million in half a day, and then it went like a million to like five, and then five to like just kept growing like seven, 10. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy. It was very fast. Every time I refreshed the screen, and then I'm like getting all these followers, and it was growing by like 50,000 every time I like for follower count every time I refreshed my screen. And then I built a little bit of momentum on it and kept doing it in like different outfits. And then I like the brown community came along, so everyone started doing it with their saris and lehengas. Then other communities like the Mexican community, the Somalian community, like it was just all over the world. So it was nice to see everything come together. And then, obviously all the news people, TikTok picked it up. I became a trailblazer that year. TikTok made that whole concept into a commercial. So I ended up being on the like NBA commercials and like all this stuff, just little me with no representation, no anything. And also to show you how innocent I was, the duet feature and
Oh,
like
yes, yes. Uh-huh.
the duet, and like I think in your notification there's like you can see people who tagged you and stuff. The
Mhm.
only time I would see people do this trend was when it came up on my For You page. I didn't know about that section. Like
Okay.
I didn't even know people were like tagging me, and like so I probably missed like a lot more momentum. Either way, it was very organic. It made me happy to showcase my culture and show that other people were proud of it, and my mom loved it. Like a very special moment.
Oh my gosh. I know you talked about how with this video there was momentum not even just within the Indian community, but now you were seeing people within the Mexican community, Somali community. Just I think it built more, it was such a momentum, not even just within our culture, but uniting all different cultures. So that's really beautiful that you got to kind of see that like firsthand from art that you had created. Can you just what was it like? Like, where were you when you saw this like video go viral? Like, were you eating ice cream or were you at home? What was
Girl,
going
I
on?
was I was like by my sink at my mom's
Okay.
house by the
Okay.
sink. And I used to record a lot in my mom's bathroom. I had lived at home like right after college for not even a year, but this all happened within that little bit of time. So I was just simply enjoying life, and yeah, it's so crazy. And I was working a full-time corporate job at the time too.
Okay. Okay.
So I was a mobile app designer. It's a whole different lore, but so I would go to work early in the morning, come back, and sometimes like I would do a little modeling on the side. So I'll go straight to shoots, or I'll go straight home and then put on my stuff and record like right after work. So especially
Amazing.
when all this momentum stuff was going on, no matter how tired I was after work, I still had to keep going. I
I
just
love
remember
that.
all those
I love that.
times.
So you were living with your mom at the time, you said,
Yes.
correct?
Hmm.
So what was the moment where I know you mentioned that she saw that video that went viral and she was super proud of you, but how did she kind of feel from, your content creation journey in the beginning and modeling journey in the beginning? Like, was she supportive from the jump or what was that? What was that like?
Girl, I'm still trying to get her. to say the correct title. Like every day is a new title for her. She doesn't really know what I do. She's always supportive. She's a very religious woman. So as
Oh,
long as I go to church, like she is good. She's more like, oh yeah, this is a cute video, but she doesn't care about views. She doesn't care about followers. But I think she understands the impact because when she goes out in public, she's in a few of my videos. When she goes out in public, people will recognize her or they'll speak about me to her at work and this and that. So that's kind of when she started realizing, like, oh, I guess it means something. But
that is
she's,
so sweet. I love
she's
that. I've seen some of your videos with her, where you've taken her on brand trips, and she just looks like the most Baba human being. For anyone that doesn't know what Baba means, if you don't speak Malayalam, what is like the right way to even like translate that? I always try and like figure it out, but I'm like, I don't know if there's as impactful of like a word in English.
I love Problem. Like it must be in English. I think I would just like an innocent soul. Like
Yes.
when you look at them, you're like, oh, like
So Baba. Oh my gosh, like when I've seen her like cry in your videos from like,
mm,
like the surprises that you've given her or like her traveling with my heart just can
oh
explode. She's so proud of you, and I hope you
yeah.
know that.
Oh yeah, she has that effect on people. I call her Molly as like an inside joke. Like I don't say like mom or amma too much. We just say Molly. Like it's just funny. But yeah, Molly definitely has that effect on people. It doesn't take much to make her happy, but she deserves the world.
Absolutely. So so you started off in content creation with TikTok, with Instagram, and you saw your videos going viral. What were you thinking were your next steps? I knew you had a full-time job at the time where you're
Yeah.
going, like, your 9 to 5. At what point did you think to yourself, hey, I think it's time to go full time?
Yeah, I worked corporate for a total of 11 months. And once I started making more than my corporate job, I said, sayonara.
Okay.
Bye. I didn't even put in my 2 weeks. I said, this is it. I said,
Bye.
today will be my last day. And I never looked back. It's crazy. It's just so crazy. And I, um, yeah, I created an LLC very early on. I had a
Nice.
vision, so did that, got representation, and moved out all in that first year and never went back. And it's like you just never know. It's not like being like a doctor, engineer, where there might be stability in that career. This career, when you're young, especially, you really don't know because you don't see too many people who have been in this space for like 40 years, 50 years. So every year, it's like I want to say in the beginning, it was more like risking it because what if it doesn't do well the next year? So I never moved out until I knew I was good for the next year. Like that was always my rule of thumb. But then slowly you start believing reality because, well, hey, it's been 5 years and I never had to look back. It just kept getting better and better. So
What is that day in the life like now that I guess you don't have like the 9 to 5 structure from corporate?
yeah, every day is going to look different. I've had phases where I have no structure and I love to create, so I'm always creating and editing in the background. But I think not having much structure can take you back a little or maybe not be as beneficial. So I try to do something. So now I have a schedule like my Muay Thai things I do in the evening, but every morning, definitely talk to my managers and all that, check in for the day, my emails. I had a horrible habit of never checking my emails. And I'm not best with this, but I would not check my emails with no representation in the beginning because it was just too much overwhelming. So once I have that, they kind of do all the businessy stuff and I do all the creative stuff. And then create. I'll have days where it's like creating days, and honestly, that can go like up to 10 hours of just creating content. And it doesn't really feel like a pain. Like I love it. I'm excited to see the end result. And then honestly, every day I edit. I edit every day, whether it's an hour or a couple of hours. Like I'm always doing something. And then you have your posting schedule. So I try to be consistent like almost every day, things like that. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So when you had gotten management, how do you feel like that's changed your work-life integration, work-life balance versus before when you didn't have management?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly did not have management oh wait, how can I phrase this? I had management just a couple of months into the journey, so it wasn't like it was years before management, which I'm so thankful for because the amount of anxiety I have dealing with things by myself,
Yeah.
and just for all future creators, just even if management does not reach out to you, you can also reach out to them. Like when things go viral, I think that's when like companies saw me. But do your research and look at who your favorite creators are under, reach out to them. And how has it helped me? Well, like I said, I hate doing the businessy stuff, so they keep it organized for you. I have a person for my brand emails, I have a person for my PR stuff, like a content person to make sure all my like ad content is done and list like it's good. There's a lot of people, and this truly is a business that a lot of people don't realize, um, and how big this industry is and how these people make me better. It's very hard to do by yourself. Props to everyone who does it, but having I love having a representation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you brought up a really good point, even with ads. Just recently, I had a brand deal and they said, hey, like, this is the fee for it, but we'll give you an additional X amount of money if we could just whitelist this as an ad. So I feel like marketing has totally, not totally, I feel like it's shifted where it's a lot
Yeah.
more consumer based, consumer focused. So they're relying a lot more on creators to create this content because they've realized, like companies, corporations have realized that there's a lot better reach when the message is delivered by someone that they can trust. And so for that, like there's such an investment into this. And so for people that are like, "Oh, you just do this for fun." Yeah, you can do it for fun or you can make this a career very easily, And I love that you brought light into that and how to take it to the next level, having management and even the different titles that kind of go into making sure that you're successful. There's so many moving pieces. There's so many people working behind the background to ensure that. That's really cool. Would you say this is all within the same management company, or would you advise to are you allowed to work with like different companies for different pieces of that?
I'm sure it's different for everyone, but the standard across the industry is once you're with the management, you sign like a non-compete.
Got it.
So
Okay.
if you're with one, you're usually sticking with one, but there are people who do one maybe for their PR stuff, like an agency, and then one agency for maybe brand deals and things like that. Um, Another thing, this is also as maybe like a secret thing that maybe people don't talk about. I definitely believe you get taken more seriously with management when it comes to brand deals. The brands know this, so they try to undermine you, they try to lowball you, but once they see you have, legal representation and things like that behind you, then they're like, okay, these are your rates. Okay, we will respect you more. Like it
Yeah,
sucks, but that's unfortunately the thing. There's a lot of I don't want to say scam, it's very like negative word, but there's a lot of unfair things going on.
100%. I agree with you. And I
100%.
think
Yeah.
this is something that I feel like people have touched on before as well, like doing work pro bono versus doing work and like getting paid because there's so much time, so much energy, so much effort goes into creating content. So I think when you are creating content, like you deserve to get paid and paid
Yeah.
fairly too.
Yeah, and it's all a line, of course. I'm not saying every brand is out to get you, but
For sure.
some of the bigger ones, if they're lowballing you, that's
Mm,
bad. If you're a small business, you have to keep that in mind. Like they might
mm,
not have the budget for it. And I love working with small businesses, especially like brown companies or even back home, they might not have the resources or the platform. And if I love
yeah,
the stuff, why not? Like they don't have the budget for it. But bigger
absolutely.
companies, like, let's be real.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely meant more along like the big businesses that can't afford it. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm totally in line with you on that.
No.
So how did you pick your management company versus like, I'm sure so many were reaching out to you. What were certain things that you were looking out for, and what would you advise someone that wants to follow in your footsteps if they do want representation? What are some of the things that they should be looking out for?
Yeah, I'm just living for this conversation, especially because I haven't really announced it, but I am working on like my website and I have two ebooks coming out.
Oh my goodness.
One ebook is the first one that's going to be coming out is all about how to get started as a content creator, like literally 0 to 100.
I love it.
algorithm stuff, schedule, equipment, like this, that. And the next one was all going to be like finances and speaking on management companies, brand deals, all this stuff that people don't talk about and just my experience. But definitely I'm going to share things today too. But it's just all tying in together, you know?
That's amazing. And I feel like when something is that detailed and there's a course that people could
Exactly.
save and reference later on or continue to review, that is amazing. So kudos to you. That's
Thank
incredible. Oh my
you.
God, I
Thank
can't wait to get
you.
my hands on that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, because I do get these questions like, oh, how do you do this? How do you become a creator? And I wish I could just give you a one-word answer or like one paragraph, but I can't. Anyway, that's coming out very soon. So to answer your question about how to pick your agency, so personally, once again, please everyone listening, take this with a grain of salt. But um there's definitely mistakes I've made, and that comes with experience. There are agencies that take bigger percentages, like see what the average is. Talk to a couple agencies, and the standard is usually 20%. There's companies that do less, there's companies that do more, but do your research. If you are interested in an agency, I did my research by messaging creators who were signed with them, asking their experience. Hey, did you like them? What did you like and what did you not like? Do you recommend? Another thing, a red flag I would look for is if they don't have a trial period. If they want you to sign on immediately, like, hey, it's a 3-year contract, kind of crazy. Like, 1-year contract is usually normal and then you renew. But if they immediately want you to sign and not give you a trial period, most of them will do like a 1 month or 3 month, or some do 6 month trial, and then you can decide if you want to sign on. Try not to get stuck in anything. And another thing, a lot of agencies will have their own legal representation within them who will look over the deals and contracts. But I have my own representation. So my agency has their own, but I told them like I would like to bring my own representation. So my lawyer works for me. So if there's anything going on, it's not like they work for the agency and then me secondary. It's
So smart.
she has my priorities as number one first, you know.
I love that. And how did you find like your lawyer? Because
My
these are
lawyer I
all like
found,
very like big girl moves. Like, and I feel like you were doing this in your early 20s.
I know, so crazy to think.
Huge. No, that's so impressive.
Thank you. Well, my lawyer right now, I've been working with her about 3 years. I found her through my second agency because a lot of the creators there had been working with her and they had her as primary instead of working with the agency's legal team. So that's how I kind of got introduced to that and I loved it. And then my first agency was actually, I'm trying to word it, like it was between two agencies that I was deciding between, and I went with one, and they were okay for the time period, but then I wasn't, they just kept changing management within, and I wasn't happy later on, and it was actually a longer contract, but they had mentioned to me earlier, like even if it is like a longer contract, if you are not happy, you're able to leave. So I actually left them and I humbled myself. I went back to the first agency, like, hey, I'm really sorry about that, but I would love to be with you guys if you still have opportunities. And the manager over there was very nice and was like, hey, I want you to discover for yourself. Like, if they are not pressuring you into anything and letting you be you, I think that's a really good sign. So I had been with them for a couple years, and currently I'm with my third agency, and I've only been working with them a couple months, but so far they're, like I said earlier, they're very organized
Love it.
and things change, right now I change. I'm in a period where I wanted more organization, more strategy, and because I had have a hold on the brand deal side of things, so now more PR stuff, maybe some panels and like, just different goals, different agencies, and they all do very different things. Just research, research, research.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that insight because I feel like these are things that people don't talk about. And when you had mentioned like having your own representation, that is so smart. I would have never in a million years thought about that, but it's so nice to have people shed light on these things so that way we could kind of we learn from each other. So if we could go back in time, if we could think about your five-year journey, which is crazy to think about. It's been 5 years, right? It's content creation. What do you feel like you've learned the most from this journey?
Say, just start. Maybe don't think too much, just start before you're ready. This is still a thing I struggle with now because I'm very much a perfectionist. I need everything to be correct. But then when I do that, and sometimes when I don't have structure, I don't want to say falling behind, but it's not as efficient as it could be. For like my YouTube, for example, right now I'm rolling out my solo travel series vlogs, right? And I wanted it to be perfect, like every vlog to be perfect and done so that I can do it at a certain time. But I just wish I just did it in the moment. Like just edit, just post it, who cares? Like sometimes I need to be a little bit more less, strict about those kind of things. And I've been implementing that this year and it's been working so far, but that's definitely something I would tell.
That's beautiful. And can I tell you, that is such solid advice because I feel like I run into so many people that have incredible ideas or incredible things that they want to do, but it's always, oh, but what if this happens? Or what if this happens?
I
Or, oh,
know.
and then it just stopped. And this has happened to me. Like, even with this podcast, I stopped for 2 years because I
Really?
got a little burnt out and I was a one-woman show, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know if I could do all of this right now with like grad school and like work and all of it. And then for 2 years I was like, ah, but what if? And then I was like, no, it's gonna be imperfect when we start, and we're gonna learn and we're gonna continue to improve, and that's what it takes. And I think that's such good advice that even I can take and implement too. And I feel like people listening in, it just doesn't need to be perfect. When you start, you just have to start, and you're gonna learn along the way. You're gonna make mistakes, but then you're just gonna keep getting better and better.
You're just gonna keep getting better. Just it's hard. It's hard to be okay with imperfection.
So I know you touched on your self-discovery with your solo travels abroad, and that is something that I'm so excited to dive into. But before that, I did want to ask you, since you're doing this full time and you're getting these incredible brand deals and working on a bunch of different things, how do you feel like you're able to integrate work-life balance? Like, I know your family is in Houston, your friends are in Houston, so how do you kind of balance everything together?
Well, the good things about being a content creator is you're your own boss. So I feel like I have a lot of time. So you gotta prioritize based on priorities. One week, prioritize work. One week, prioritize this platform. One week, hey, this is all about friends, or just keep organized. I've been both. I've been very not organized and keeping everything in my head, try to remember everyone's birthdays, events, posting stuff, and it does something, but with the calendar, it can be even better.
I love it. So do you feel like that's your strategy? You try to put as much as you can on your calendar to stay organized and on top of things?
Definitely, and I think just having weekly plans keeps
Mm.
it on track. At least my friends, we do this. I have like different friend groups, and some that we have like weekly movie nights, or whether it's like an activity related things, like we all work out together once a week, or in another friend group, we go on walks every Tuesday. So yeah, we
Sweet.
do it as a weekly thing with groups, so it never feels like, oh, it's not one of those things where, oh, I haven't seen you in like months and I need to hang out, which I get people's schedules and stuff, but like just organically, trying to knock two things at a time. Everyone wants to go on a little hot girl walk. Like some people bring their boyfriends, like they love their walks too. So
Yeah, and then that way you could maximize it and see as many people as possible. It's efficient and you got to work out it too. So I love
hmm yeah.
that. That's smart. So do you ever feel like you've like struggled with this, or has that been something that you're like, you know what, friends, family, all of this is a big priority to me. I will make it work. Like it's it's not an issue.
Mostly I do make it work. I think, but also most of the time, I'm not gonna lie, I probably do like I don't prioritize my content as number one usually. As weird as that sounds, like I'm never like working all day every day. At least this stage in my life, like it's hard to think, right? Maybe beginning year one, year two, I could see myself maybe less on friends and more about the content. But right now, I feel like I have a hold on things, so I have more time for friends and family. But
Sparked that that shift in mindset from prioritizing like content to now wanting to prioritize like friends and family.
yeah, well, it's about growing and platform and goals and things like that. When you're much smaller, you're more like, yes, 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 like I want to do this. And that's honestly, that's needed. And because I was in that mindset is why I'm able to do this now. I don't think if I was like, oh, just friends and family and not focus on work, then I'm not going to get to where I was now. So be smart about things too. Keeping it real.
That's true. And I feel like now it's like a season of reaping your benefits. Like you
Yeah.
planted the seeds and now you're enjoying the flowers. And I
Yeah,
love that.
I feel like it's more of that, just a
I love
natural
that for you.
timeline.
Speaking of enjoying the flowers, we kind of touched on it earlier, and I totally realized I butchered the name. I called it Mai Tai. It's Muay Thai, right?
Yes, yes, Muy Thai. That's okay. It's okay.
My bad. Please, no one from Thailand, don't come after me.
Knows it's Muay Thai, guys.
Okay, so I saw, like, I followed your journey of how you went on you went solo traveling. Correct me if I'm wrong, was it for 3 months?
Yes, it was almost 4 months,
Four
but
months.
yes, I did.
I saw some travels in the Middle East. I saw you were in Thailand. Can you tell us about what sparked this journey to solo travel? And would you recommend that we do that? And at what
Oh
point
my
in life do you recommend that we do
gosh.
that?
Definitely recommend. There's never a time I'm not going to recommend that.
Mhm.
What sparked it? I think burning out. And I was doing great in my career. I was doing like a lot, but then it was like, okay, what now? I feel like for that age, like I accomplished like everything I wanted to. Of course, there's going to be more goals, but it's also like well, a little bit more long term. It's like, okay, now what? Now I'm just chilling. It's the same thing every day. Okay, I need a change. And I was getting really into Muay Thai too. My trainer at the time was like, he goes to Thailand once a year. He's from there. So he's like, hey, I feel like you should do this. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just solo travel. And then I was like, okay, if I'm gonna go to that side of the hemisphere anyway, might as well just do more, make the best out of everything. So then I decided I'm gonna go. I booked a one way, and my friend was going to get married in August, and I was a bridesmaid. So I knew I was gonna be back by then, but I didn't know like when or where I was gonna be, what I was gonna do. It was simply based on vibes. That sounds so weird. Just vibes, yeah.
I love it. So what do you feel like you took away from those 4 months abroad?
Ugh, I just, I'm a creature of being alone. Like I love to be alone as much as I love my friends and family. I thrive when I'm by myself. So I guess I wanted to maximize that and see the world a little bit more. And, group trips and all, they're great. But sometimes, sometimes you have to compromise some things, like maybe restaurants or sleep, or some people want to do this, some want to do that. This was all about just me. What do you want to do? You want to lay in bed, do nothing all day in a foreign country? Okay. You want to leave the country today? Okay. Like it was never planning. And I'm not a huge like planner when it comes to travel. So when I tell you if I'm in a new country, it's because I decided the day before. Like, so,
Goodness, I love the spontaneity. That's so exciting. Are you a fire sign by any chance?
oh, I don't know. I'm a Gemini.
You're Gemini. Okay, so you're an air sign, so you're very like da da da, let's go, let's go. That makes sense.
Yes, very much. It just felt very freeing to do what you wanted to do. And I don't know, sometimes I think the world or when you're in your bubble for so long, it can get to you. And I think traveling definitely made me appreciate everything way more as well. Um, just the simple things. I just even like my floor, I just liked I don't know, it's just weird things like I just don't remember. Missed my shower so much, missed my bed, or just not living out of a suitcase. Just simple things I loved when I got back, but also just I realized I didn't need that much. And just some nature, working out, good times, sweet people. It was good.
I actually went to Thailand. I think it was 2 years ago for New Year's Eve, and I went elephant sanctuary hopping. Did you get to go to an elephant sanctuary when you were there?
Which city
What did
did
you
you go
think?
to?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Which city did you go to?
I went to Chiang Mai.
Yeah, did
Was
you
that your?
that's where I went. Did you go for oh no, that's in November. I was thinking about the Lantern Festival.
No, but I want to go. That sounds so
I know.
cool.
Me too,
That sounds
but
so beautiful.
it's November.
Wait, when were you in Thailand? Was it around November too, or when was it?
No, I was March and April. End of March to April to
Okay.
I don't even know when I left. I was there for a
Okay.
long time.
Okay, got it. Yes, I remember going to the elephant sanctuaries, and it was a solo trip that I took by myself, and it was amazing. Like I remember one of the first things that I did as soon as I got there, I booked like a walking tour, and my tour guide took me to one of the Buddhist temples. And I remember when I was there, I was like, okay, like whatever you can teach me like about this religion, like within, the 2 hours that we have together, go. And it was so beautiful. Just like honestly, it made me appreciate. I love that you touched on this, how you really don't need much to be happy. And when she was talking about the principles of Buddhism, and some of the things that she highlighted were like being innately kind and showcasing that to everyone around you, and just various things. It was just a very like peace-driven spiritual religion. And so I felt like that was like from my experience being in Chiang Mai, I felt like I saw that being embodied in almost every single local that I met. They're just very peaceful, very kind, and are so happy with what they have. And it just made me realize like the problems, quote unquote, the problems that I have are not really problems. Like they're just, like life is really beautiful, and it just a shift in mindset that makes you like appreciate that. So loved it, and also loved hanging out with the elephants. It was magical seeing that, and like giving them a bath and just seeing how human like they are. They're like little. Wait, so you said that you went to the elephant sanctuary?
But mine was in Krabi.
Okay. Oh, so the islands.
Hmm.
How was it?
Oh my God. Everything I went, I don't even know how many cities. I went all over Thailand because I was there for a long
You.
time. I just
Good for
wanted to
you.
see all the cities.
Yeah.
Um, but Chiang Mai was definitely one of my favorites. And then, did you get to go to an island?
No, I didn't. I actually just stayed in Chiang Mai and I went elephant sanctuary
No,
hopping
that's okay.
one
Do
after
your
the
thing.
other. I needed my dose of elephants.
That's fun. Do your thing, girl. But I went, Koh Samui was one of
Ooh.
my favorite places I've ever traveled to. It was so serene. It felt like no one was there. I mean, it's a small island, but it really felt like there were 10 people total. And the beach was so empty, no one in the water. It was so quiet. Just, I loved it. I feel like if I ever am struggling in life, I'll just book a ticket to Koh Samui.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Did you get to play with the elephants when you were there?
We bathed them and then got to feed them. That was about it. But and I got to hug one, I guess.
They're so playful. One had a water fight with us. It was so,
Oh,
that was like the core memory that like I will never forget, was so our job like as volunteers were to like
sorry. I think I have a package. I'll get it later.
do you need to get that or?
No, no, they usually just leave it up my door.
Okay, okay, okay. So I remember when we were giving the elephants a bath, like mind you, we're like little mushrooms compared to this like giant elephant, right? And they gave us these like teeny tiny little buckets to put water in and just like pour over the elephant. Now that I think back, this elephant was probably laughing, being like, what is this supposed to do?
Oh,
So then she got up, and I remember she just looked so majestic and so elegant, slowly starts walking out of the water, and then starts kicking water back. And mind you, there's like our tour guides are like shocked, we're shocked, no one's filming anything, which was so beautiful too, because it was
yeah.
purely organic and it was purely like her playful personality. And she's throwing water back, and I'm thinking I'm gonna die. Like that's my last day on earth. And we're like, what's going on? Like, and then finally the tour guides were like, she's like having a water fight with you. Throw water back. And we have these little buckets that we were using to throw water on her. So we took these little buckets and we'll pour it back. And then that kept going for like 5 minutes where it was like a waterfall on her end, raindrops on our end. And then she was done. And then she got up and left. And I was like, I can't believe that just happened. It
That's
was
so
so beautiful.
that is so magical. You know, I saw a fact that said elephants see humans as like really cute and adorable little things, like how we feel about like cats and
Dog.
dogs, like how they feel about us.
That's true. I've heard that too, and I really hope that's true.
Yeah.
It's
So what
very
did,
cute.
how do you think you changed after your solo travel?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good question. I feel like every time I've traveled abroad, I feel like I've gained some sort of like insight from the people that I've met, the people that been inspired by, or like say there's like something on my mind or like a few things that are on my mind. I feel like by getting out of that bubble, the same way that you kind of talked about feeling burnt out and then just leaving that bubble and kind of just going into this new space, this new realm, it made me appreciate what I have at home. And at the same time, I feel like just being able to talk to strangers even about certain things that like say I was going through, like if we just get deep with like strangers, somehow, some way, I've always walked away with like a solution or like a refreshed like outlook on something. So I've always appreciated it. How about you? How do you feel like I know you talked about like appreciating what you have like at home, but how do you feel like it's influenced your journey with social media?
With social media, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I just feel like I was already pretty independent, but I guess saying you're an independent girl is one thing, and then living in the US, like, yes, it's hard, but it's also like kind of an easy life compared to other countries. I'm not gonna lie. You know, some of the places I went to, like, it was very tough. Um, and I don't know, I guess I really like proved to myself, like, hey, you can do it, especially Italy. Like, Italy was so tough for me. Um, huh?
Really? Italy?
Well, yeah, because I don't know if you see the memes about packing and all that. Like I had a
Mhm.
whole suitcase and a duffel bag and a backpack, and I was just scared of like theft there, and then I had to carry all this stuff. Like it's not like everything's like made for travel. My experience, they don't love tourists, so you just have to really find your way. Um, I don't know. It was good to push myself and be uncomfortable, but knowing that I have my own back and I made it happen. And it was very, even in certain situations, it was still like less worry for me at the end of the day internally because I always said, hey, you got your own back and you're going to survive this. And having a positive mindset through everything. Generally, I am a positive person, but to practice in times where maybe some people might not be, it's like kind of cool to just keep going and no matter what the situation is, just keep doing it and you will find a way out.
I love that. And I think to kind of highlight what you said about reassuring yourself, like I have my own back. I feel like when you come back to the States and you're back grounded, I feel like it's a good like self-confidence move to be able to travel alone and be able to discover parts of yourself or even the practice of self-reassurance, self-soothing. Those are skills that you can take on with you throughout life, as life throws curveballs at you.
Yeah, and also I feel at the time I was single and you're kind of, with the whole brown community, it's like, oh, you need someone, you can't live life like without someone. So I'm very anti all of that. If you want to be with someone, cool. If you don't, cool. Like I don't think you need to be with a certain someone by a certain age and things like that. And traveling, like, yes, it's fun to travel with friends and partners, but if let's say schedules don't align and you really want to go somewhere, like just do it. Have fun. And there is a beauty in seeing the world like by yourself too.
Amen. And I think when you talked about timeline, that is so huge because I think back to like some things that had happened in like my life too, and fast forward to now, like I really like believe like there really is no such thing as a timeline. Like things are meant for you, like kismet, like certain things are destiny when it is meant to be and you've worked towards what you are meant to do. If we had this like notion like in our community to be married by 25, popping out kids by like 25 and a half. Like, oh my gosh, I was such a different person at 25 than who I am now. And I feel like things like going and doing like self-travel, like doing things like you know what I mean? Just like things that are for me and for no one else. I feel like it's just developed me into the person that I am. And now it's more so being with someone that makes me not whole, because I'm already whole as is. It's someone that just compliments and adds to it and appreciates for what I am instead of trying to like change anything, if that makes sense. So let's talk about one of your greatest and most recent accomplishments, Miss Vogue India.
I'm still in shock, girl. I'm
I
still in
I like I saw that. When I tell you I probably fell to the floor, I was like, Miss Vogue India. I thought
crazy.
like that is so incredible. That is so incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm like, me? Like, me?
Who
Like,
wouldn't, of course you, of course, who better than you? You
no, you're
killed
sweet.
it on that
You're
shoe. Can you
sweet.
tell us about that? Like walk us through like how this even came about and what you were feeling and all of it. And your mom's reaction too, please.
Oh, you're gonna die at my mom's reaction.
Was
I'll
she
tell you.
like
Well, she is a very simple woman, not in mainstream. She doesn't know what Vogue is. So people were calling her to congratulate her, like, oh my gosh, we saw her in Vogue, like, congrats. And when my mom calls me, she's like, what is this Vogue? Like, I don't Vogue, like Vogue, what is that? I was like, oh, it's just this article thing. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, no, she does not care. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Shalom TV. It's like a Christian religious channel. If I'm ever on Shalom, that's my mom's Vogue. Like, so until I've made it to a Christian platform, not a peep out of her.
What about Malayalam Manorma? I feel like I've seen collections of those in our
Maybe,
parents' house.
maybe, but
Malayalam Manorma, come get your girl.
I know,
She's
I
ready.
know, please, whatever. I just want to make my mother smile or know something I'm on. But no, she's funny.
But
Um,
amazing. So how
yeah.
can you tell us about how this came about?
Well, so someone from their team emailed me and said, we are going to have a piece on beauty standards and brown people and how they're, doing their thing and breaking stereotypes and all that. So they love my stuff. They'd been following me and they would love to interview me. So then that was it. They interviewed me, asked me some questions, and I was just honest. And the shoot was not specifically for Vogue India. I recently did that shoot and then they loved it. So they said we're going to include that too. So it just worked out all perfectly.
Amazing. So did you have to travel for this shoot or was this just like a separate shoot altogether?
It was a
How did
separate
that work?
altogether. Girl, that was done right here in my
no.
living room. No, my friend photographed like
Beautiful. Girl,
I
it
know
was
that's what I'm
beautiful.
saying. You don't have to do anything crazy. Just believe in yourself. Like even at this caliber, like you can still do things in your living room and do great things with it. You'll just never know.
I love it. So what was it like working with Vogue?
It was unreal. Honestly, even my team, they were all like, my team earlier, they were just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. They're like, we have to double check the email. Like they were just so excited. Everyone just super excited. And
Sweating because
oh
I'm
my
still
gosh, no,
like
they were so lovely. And then I wrote them a little like, follow-up thank you email, everything. They're very sweet and hopefully can do more in the future as well.
yes, we're calling it into the future. I love it. So,
Yes.
can you tell us about what is next for Milan Matthew? I know we touched on um, these courses that are being developed, which is going to be so helpful, especially for anyone starting out or someone who wants to hone in on this craft. But what else does Milan want to do in the future? Is acting in the picture, or what else would you like to do, tap into?
Yeah, definitely. I am working on my website, and the ebooks are first up. And I know a lot of people love the fashion, the streetwear. I am working on my own streetwear brand. I
I
have
love that. That's so
the
fun.
name, the branding, everything. We are right now in the manufacturing process, so I'm perfecting the material because my people will only have the best of the best. So I literally cannot wait. It's gonna take some time, but I literally cannot wait to just like wear my own stuff, walk around with it. And these books also, I'm so excited for them because I truly just want to help people as well. I want to help y'all. This is, I wish I had something like this when I first started. So it's a very honest program. I don't even want to say like program or course. It's really just like a book of bunch of information, right? And then I am planning on maybe doing like group coaching like once a month or something. So every all these people can connect and get together and I can, help y'all or talk about what's going on. And that's about as much capacity as I can give, just a little bit at a time. But I think that would be very fun, and I'm very excited for the future. My clothing brand, very excited for that. I have huge, big plans. I'm a creative very much, so the the vision I have, like I can't speak much on it, it's a little confidential, but I literally cannot wait. Um, yeah, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, I would love to be on panels and do more speaking opportunities and just spread the word and eventually just build motivation and be representation for other people and just help them see that hey, you can do this too. Like I'm not anything crazy or special. I didn't have all these resources. When I tell you literally started from zero with, you know, a very cheap Lenga, like you just need the vision and belief in yourself.
That's so exciting. I feel like you have so many different avenues that really cater to so many different types of people. And I think this is going to help so many people with all the different products that you're coming out with. So, congratulations. And I'm so excited to see all of these launch. And I would love to know, where do you find your inspiration? Like, what would you say are some sources of inspiration? And say, if at any point, like, you get into this like creative block or funk, like, what advice do you have for someone to create during those moments?
Yeah. For me, ideas are always overflowing. For me, it's not creative block with like I don't know what to create, but it's more like I'm burnt out from creating. It's definitely I record for days. Like the amount of content I have is just like insanity, actually. I have so much content recorded, but the part where I lack is the editing and then pushing out, right? And in those times, like I get so burnt out, tired. My advice is honestly stop, get away from the computer, get away from the socials, and like people say, touch grass, go for a walk. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to have hobbies um by yourself. I mean, even with friends and stuff, it's good, but do things because you want to do it. Like, go find a hobby that you want to do that's fulfilling you, that's away from content. Don't do something, oh, because you think you'll get views or you think a certain way. Like, just purely, I think something like that, it's good to be grounded with. And then another rule of thumb, honestly, maybe people might be surprised, but I post more than I consume. I'm not like want to sit there and scroll all day. I have my TV shows and stuff, but like social media in general, like I don't like to scroll and watch other people that much. Sure, I have my favorites here and there, but overall, like this is very much work for me. So I love my stuff. I'll put it out there, interact with my people, but yeah, I don't really love to like watch and obsess over other people and then like comparing numbers and things like those are very toxic to you. People always think, why isn't my thing going viral or why am I not doing good? Maybe you think you have better content. And it's never your fault, is what I think. It's never your fault. What is meant to be will be. If like it could be the algorithm, or it could be that day, or this, like there's so many outside factors. So it's just never compare your journey with anyone else. And even you might think like, oh wait, this, I'm posting the same thing this person is posting, or I think my quality is better. But hey, you don't know if that person has been posting that stuff for like 5 years, 10 years. Like they have that trust with the audience that you might not have been. So don't compare your day one to someone's day 1000.
Absolutely. And I think comparison is a thief of joy. So I love that you have that balance between seeing this as work and then being able to have your time with your friends, your time with your family, like designated scheduled time with them where you're able to just take your mind off of it. And even with working out, Muay Thai, and having just that like scheduled in the evenings. I think that's really beautiful. So it sounds like having those spaces is also helping to fuel this creativity by being able to step away from it, even if it's not traveling away, but stepping away from that bubble for a little bit and kind of just re-energizing yourself, or even if it's spending time alone, re-energizing yourself and then coming back to it. I think that's really smart. I love that.
There's this book I read by John Kim. He's a therapist. I forgot the name of the book, but one of my takeaways, my favorite takeaways from that book was he was maybe in his 40s or 50s writing this book right after a divorce, and he was talking about connecting with his inner child. Like that's where he went, like I think he got back into maybe riding bikes or something. He's like, I used to do that as a kid, brought me joy as a kid. I stopped doing that as an adult. And he started doing that, reconnecting with himself. And those are, I think that stuff is really powerful, which is what Muay Thai is for me, because I grew up doing martial arts, right? So Muay Thai is my adult martial arts. And so reconnecting with myself every time I go to class and do those moves also, I think, helps with that. So I definitely suggest everyone to go pick up hobbies you used to like as a kid.
And I totally hear you when it comes to like connecting with your inner child. And I think part of me just feels like, not to get like too philosophical, but I feel like our point in life is to reconnect with the parts of us that had to be forced to grow up so quickly. And it feels like one of the purposes of life is to be around people and do things that bring out that inner child, that pureness, that innocence, that like unfiltered joy. And I feel like Tinku is that for me. And I wonder if Poe is that for you. But just being able to even go to the park with him and just see life from his eyes and just chase him around. And because he loves to be chased. Like it's such a good, that's such a good like piece of advice that you gave. And I think even saying it, like it helps kind of just confirm that. So it's true. I love that. Reconnect with your inner child. So last question for you, Milan. I know you talked about all the different tutorials that you're coming out with, the books, the educational courses, group classes that you'll eventually have, which is all incredible. But say someone wanted to follow in your footsteps today and they wanted to reach out, would you be willing to mentor them? And if so, what would be the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping the group coaching will help with the mentorship. But I wish I had a website for you, but we're between two domains right now. But always check my bio for the resources. I'm always going to have everything there. But, just even, you don't even need me, if I'm being honest. Like, watch your favorite creators and take inspiration from them. I don't, I'm not saying copy and be like them, take inspo, and don't forget yourself. Don't forget individuality. You have something that people want to see, and you don't want to fake anything. It's going to get exhausting having to put on a front if this is something you actually want to do all the time. But if anyone has questions, please do feel free to DM me. I'll do my best. And if I can't help you, I will 100% give you resources to get to where you want to go. I'll do my best, guys.
Perfect. So everyone in the audience, you could reach out to her via DM.
Yeah, me. Everything will be okay. Just comment in public, DM, because the comments are honestly very helpful because other people do like to help out too. So
Yes. Oh,
don't
that's
be
a
shy.
good tip. I love that. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Milan, for giving us your time today and sharing all these gems that we can't just see like outside of social media. So we really appreciate all the advice and the insight that you were able to provide from your day to day and how you're able to integrate your personal life with your professional life. Congratulations on every milestone that you've hit. You are such an inspiration to everyone watching. From the moment that I saw you during the pandemic to now, I am in awe of everything that you've achieved, and you are such a smart, level-headed woman that is going to go so far. And just know that I'm always rooting for you, and I cannot wait to see everything you're about to do in the future. So thank you.
You're too kind. Thank you so much, girl. I'm proud of you too. You're doing your
You're so
thing.
sweet.
Like, this
You're
is
so
so awesome.
sweet. Thank you. So we're just gonna end off with some rapid fire questions. Okay, what's your go-to beauty product that you can't live without?
Maybe a lip stain? Yeah, a lip
Oh,
tint or stain.
oh, okay. Do you have a brand that you go to?
It's called Etude. Etude. Good from Amazon.
Okay, okay. I've used the Wonderskin one or the Wanderskin one. I forgot what that one was, but I'm starting to get more into lip stains too. Okay, if you could swap beauty routines with any celebrity for a day, who would it be?
Celebrity. Maybe right now I'm thinking like Tyla. Her skin is always so glowy, so yeah, she looks like she
We
smells good.
we love a glowy queen. Describe your personal style in one word.
Adventurous? No,
Love
I'll
it.
say chic. That's embarrassing. I'm like
Okay.
sometimes I'm not that adventurous. Chic.
Okay, last one. What's the most memorable reaction you've received from a fan or follower?
Oh my God. For everything.
Also,
Memorable.
ChatGPT for the win. These questions are
Okay.
amazing.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna say, okay. I'm gonna say when I was in, wait, is it okay if it's not a quick answer?
Yeah, I know these are supposed to be rapid fire 2-second answers, but
No, I'll answer some of. So when I was in Vietnam, I was on a boat and it was like, open boat, this guy's rowing, and then on the boat next to me, there was this group of girls and they were all like, "Oh my gosh, we love your page, like we're fans." And I was like, "Ah," like it was just crazy, but that was,
I love that. That's so cute.
yeah, I remember that.
Well, thank you so much, Milan. Really, really appreciate your time. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I can't wait to share this with our audience.
Thank you so much for having me. You're so lovely and keep doing your thing, girl.